Hi guys, I'm back again today with another video, and today we're checking out a Balkan wedding. Or Balkan weddings are insane. Thank you for the request. Um, well, we know Balkan schools are insane. There's no system. Some you guys did comment though, like the way it works, and I was amazed that there was actually a system. Yeah. And you guys in the comments, yeah, I might have not replied to everyone, but I did read them. You guys were like so nice and like very open. Like you're like, yeah, this is how we do things and it doesn't bother us. We insult each other and we don't care. And I was like, I like that attitude. Everybody's just like nonchalant and it's fun. So now I'm low key scared how the weddings are. Probably they're throwing each other around. We'll see. I don't know, really. There could be like pew pews. Like, I'm not opposing to anything that could happen in a Balkan wedding. From the school, if school is a place with like rules and it's like that, how much more weddings wherein there are rules, but you're an adult and this is your celebration, so you can do whatever you want, right? How much more, right? That's why I'm expecting crazy. So, anyways, before we do start, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell button, and let's find out.
The most important events in a person's life, where two people profess their undying love to one another, vowing to stay together till death do them apart. With two individuals, under God's grace, unifying into one, celebrated by a grand ceremony and party known as a wedding. But this is the Balkans.
I don't know what to expect. What is that?
The Balkans indeed are a magical place, where the average person's diet consists of a slab of meat, coffee, and 5 cigarettes, and all the laws of physics cease to exist. As such, it is no surprise that weddings here are a bit different. Being in a region that has been plagued by war, death, destruction, and presidents coming out of a fridge, a wedding is one of the events that brings enormous
Maybe
amounts of hope and reason.
maybe we have to check out some Balkan commercials too. Oh Lord. Oh.
Coming out of a fridge, a wedding is one of the events that brings enormous amounts of hope and reason for celebration. Thus, unlike the ones in the West, which are only celebrated for a couple of hours before a couple officially start their countdown to divorce, in the Balkans a wedding is not for soft little sissies, and is celebrated the entire day, by the end of which one's liver will be more shriveled up than a mudskipper in the Sahara, and you'll wake up in the hospital hooked up to dialysis. The celebration will usually start in the morning, where the most important character of the event, the best man, or more colloquially the comes to the groom's house, and as soon as he's through the door, he starts drinking. After he's had enough alcohol with the groom and their blood that neither of the two can no longer drive, the entirety of the groom's family heads to the bride's house. On their way there, they're followed by a trumpet band known as the turbofolk, who will play the entire time so that the entire neighborhood goes deaf and the bride can hear the two drunkards coming. After they reach her house, the groom, like the Giga Chad he is, will walk into her humble abode and start begging her and her bride of honor, known as the kumica, to let her out. Being the stuck-up bitches they are, they'll refuse. So then, the groom, getting rich off of crypto and placing his bets on 27 red in roulette,
this is like
will
gambling.
take out a fat stack of cash and start haggling with the kumica to buy the bride. If the groom has superhuman riz and is an avid fan of Farming Simulator, he'll straight up bring up an entire tractor tire worth several thousands of euros to trade in for the bride. After the kumica sells her best friend for what she's worth, the bride will come out.
If I'm gonna keep the money, if it's part of the culture and I have to keep the money, you have to pay me a lot because I'm like, yeah, like, everybody's struggling. So give if I have to sell you my best friend, you can take her, really, but I need some, down payment, maybe installment even.
And some madman from one side of the family
Oh,
will take out a
I
gun and
told you
start
guys.
shooting in the air to celebrate, while the trumpet band continues shredding and exacerbating the hearing loss of the entire street. Upon which, both of the families will take some more shots of hard liquor that
Oh,
Grandpa
gosh.
brewed in the backyard and slowly start making their way to the church for the procession. Now, the church procession, if you're Serbian,
But they're
is pretty
drunk.
standard, like anywhere else in the world. You come in, the priest says what he needs to, you give your vows, standard shit. Except for that the priest puts on a crown on the bride and the groom. However, if you're Hungarian, not so much. For some god-forsaken reason, the priests at Hungarian weddings like to use the ceremony to LARP as if they're on the Joe Rogan podcast, and get into schizo ramblings about migrants, divorce, the upcoming World War, wokeism in America, and the declining youth. These guys will
I'm
just
getting
keep
ready. What are
going
you talking
on
about?
and intersplicing things about God while rambling about the most random shit ever that your grandpa wouldn't even bring up on your family gatherings. All the while the guests are trying to keep a serious face on. At one wedding, the priest brought up how some Indian researchers were studying the Hungarians and discovered how they were actually the first ever people in the world. And that in fact, the Hungarian nation and race are the greatest one walking the earth. After the Hungarian ceremony would be finished in the church, everyone would go outside. The married couple, coming out last, would then throw either candy or coins at the guests.
Hey,
More
come on.
often than not, tracking the camera lens of the wedding photographers. The funny thing is, the local homeless population always gather around the church whenever they hear wedding bells. So, as soon as the coins start getting thrown, they rush to pick up as many as they can and then scurry away. And after the church ordeal is done, is when the real fun begins. For some reason, that even
This
after
is me trying to
24
get the
years
money.
of wandering this godforsaken earth, I still don't understand. Balkaners always, and I mean always, hold their wedding reception in the most kitsch event hall that can usually be found in the most ghetto, rundown part of town.
I thought it
where
was gonna be
even
nice.
the most ruthless hitman from
When he started saying this, I was like, it looks nice. What is he on about? And then he showed us. Okay.
ghetto, rundown part of town, where even the most ruthless hitman from the Crips would be scared shitless to enter. And if it's not in the ghetto, then it's located in some industrial part of the city where just spending 5
Because they're
minutes
gonna
is
make
enough to
noise.
develop, carcinoma. Now, these places, although located in a shitty part of town, and on the outside seeming like Minecraft warehouses, on the inside they are filled with some of the most kitsch modern furniture imaginable you'd think came out of a Russian oligarch's house, and the interior is larger than the observable universe, which I guess is necessary considering on average between 100 to 200 people attend a
Wow.
Balkan wedding. Hell, sometimes even over 300 if the newlyweds really want to flex on their village. Of course, no Balkan wedding hall would be complete without live entertainment, which usually comes in the form of a 40-year-old turbofolk singer who's had more Botox injected into her face that she physically can no longer express any emotion, while her ass makes Kim Kardashian's look as if she has a Japanese schoolgirls. The singer is followed by a band of a couple of severely out-of-shape middle-aged men who play the keyboard and the accordion. And, as you all can tell, the only music they'll play is Balkan brain rot, aka turbofolk, which after hearing once, you'll think there's no greater offense to music and God. But after 5 shots, you'll go,
Oh. The light. Oh, this is banger though. Oh.
and think it is the best thing in the world and nothing else comes even close to it. However, on the off chance that the newlyweds don't host their reception at a wedding hall, then most likely the wedding will be held in some village house or ranch in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, which has been converted to an ethno-house restaurant and is ran by 3 old fat women who do everything from cooking to the cleaning and catering.
Oh,
In
that's
that
cute.
case, instead of playing turbofolk, there's a good chance that instead there will be a traditional band, or if you're extremely lucky, a gypsy band that will play the greatest music you'll ever hear in your life.
Probably. Oh, thank you.
Either way, no matter what music is playing, every single one of the guests will be completely drunk before even
Oh,
the
the
first
table.
chord is
The
done
table's
playing,
gone.
which is no surprise considering that the majority of the gifts
Okay, one thing that I've observed about the Balkans is they don't care about tables. They always break them. In school, now at weddings, probably in restaurants, at home. Maybe we shouldn't just make tables, just eat on the floor or something. Because we just stand on them and then we break.
brought by the guests are alcohol, which the newlyweds will immediately open and serve everyone with. Alongside the bottles brought in from guests and that have been provided by the caterers, the legendary wooden flask Rukaiya will also be served, which has been sitting in the deepest parts of the basement for years, aging and growing ever more potent in ABV. This bottle will be easily recognizable as, like any important Balkan artifact, it carries the coat of arms of whatever mental asylum the newlyweds had the misfortune to be born in. Of course, no Balkan wedding would be complete without food. When the guests first come to the hall, they're served with the pre appetizer, which usually consists of confectionery sweets such as Mozart balls, chocolate mini cakes, wafer cookies, and kifle, which usually the matriarchs of the family spent the entire day making the day before. After the first initial round of drinking is done, the guests are then served with the appetizer, which is a shit ton of cold cuts, cheese, spread, and of course Russian salad, which is more mayonnaise than
Invite me to your weddings, guys. Okay. I will dance and eat. Burning calories and gaining calories at the same time. Best thing ever. And then do you boo boo. But yeah.
Salad, but no important celebration in the Balkans is complete without it. Then after that comes the main course, which is either sour soup with lemon, chicken breast, veggies, and sour cream, or soup with galushka dumplings, which then is finally preceded by ungodly amounts of barbecue from every animal imaginable, which will lie on a couple of measly leaves of lettuce and be topped with a load of fries. And if you're from God's chosen country, Hungary, then alongside this, you're also served a bowl of gulyás as well, because obesity is a national sport there.
Mi lehet az oka annak, hogy ennyire sok az elhízott ember, és hogy egyre több és több...
Még kurva legjobb ország a világon vagyunk! Mi a fasz a demokrácia? Orbán bácsi! Orbán bácsi! And then finally comes a dessert. Naturally, like in any wedding, this will be a multi-layer wedding cake. But what's different compared to other weddings is that instead of everyone just eating one cake, the guests also bring their own one-layer cakes they made the day before for everyone to share. So then, on top of all the previous exorbitant amounts of food, there's also a metric ton of cake to pick and choose from as well. After all the food has been dealt with, everyone has developed type 2 diabetes, everyone returns to drinking and regular festivities. Except in Hungary. Now, for other Balkaners, as I mentioned before, the groom is the most important player at the wedding. In Hungary, although still important, he is relegated, and the main man of the show is the vofely. The vofely essentially serves as the wedding organizer and is sort of like the host that entertains the guests and makes sure that everything goes smoothly. Unlike the other guests who will wear basic outfits like a suit and tie or tuxedo, the vofely comes to the wedding wearing traditional Hungarian clothes and carries an excessively large stick which is decorated with a bunch of other ribbons he got from each wedding he organized, serving as badges of honor. And after everyone has been fed and their thirst for Jahim juice has been satiated, the vofely will then step in and organize several games. Now, these games can range from a variety of different forms. Some of the most popular ones are where the couple has to sit against one another and exchange their shoes. And then the vofely interrogates them by asking them personal questions about which one of them does something more. And to answer, they have to raise the shoe of their partner. Another is when the vofely orders the guests to try and steal the bride's shoe throughout the day and present it to him. To get it back, then the parents or bride either have to do a challenge, such as sing or drink more alcohol. Either way, no matter the game, it will always involve either alcohol or something with feet, because for some reason, every vofely has an unexplainable foot fetish. Finally, after midnight strikes, more food is brought out again, the Serbs shoot more guns in the air, and the party goes on until 3 or 4 a.m.
You can do your thing.
If there were any kids by this time, they'd all fall asleep on several chairs put together, and be completely off
Oh.
despite the music blasting harder than an AC/DC concert. By the end of it all, when everyone is getting ready to go home, all the excess food gets packed up in Tupperware and handed out to the guests, and the wedding finally comes to
Now
an
you're
end.
talking my
And yeah,
language.
that would be your typical Balkan wedding. Have you ever been to one? What has
No,
been your experience?
I want to
Let me know in
go.
the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, as always, click that like and subscribe button. And if you really liked it, consider becoming a member like these wonderful people. My name is Janos, and you watched Living Around a Clean Europe.
Wow, that is an experience and a half. I want to be invited to one. Please, come on. I would love to go. It looks so much fun. I don't think I've ever attended. Usually, weddings are like, you know, especially in the beginning. Okay, at the end, the reception part is good, but then in the beginning, you're like, I woke up so early. Why is this taking forever? Just say I do and let's move on, right? But no, yes, the pastor, the priest, they talk about Genesis until Revelations, literally, like the beginning of the Bible until the end of the Bible. But anyways, um, it be like that. But then once it's done, you can. We don't really have a lot of party. Depends on what kind of wedding it is, but this one on another level. The food part stole my soul, and the music, I can. I don't think it's crazy. It's good. I'll be like, yeah, while taking my barbecue. Oh, break dance, and then cake. Like, yeah. So, but I'm talking all this like energy, but I feel like I'll be like dead at 7 o'clock. I'll be like, yeah, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And then the party's going on until 7 a.m. Like, but anyways, beautiful peeps, let me know your experience. If you've been to one and if you've even had one, let me know how crazy it was. Thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you in the next video. And recommend me more videos that you want me to check out. Bye.